everybody. Welcome to Hope Church Online. So here's a good quarantine joke for you. Who was the shortest man in the Bible? If you know it, shout it out. Nehemiah. Get it? I know, so bad, but your kids are gonna love it. My name is Kathy Anderson, and as a church, we're looking at the book of Nehemiah together. Yesterday, Pastor Joe shared on chapter 1, and so if you haven't watched that yet, I would encourage you to go back, take a look at that, but also please try to read along with us as we go through this exciting book of the Bible. And I have just been really amazed at how much this book of Nehemiah has to say about the times and seasons that we're actually finding ourselves in right now. And so today, I would like to share just a few thoughts from Nehemiah chapter 2. So here we go. So there's just so much exciting stuff to see in this little chapter, and I'm going to read just a few verses. I'm going to read Nehemiah chapter 2, verses 1 through 4, and then part of verse 8. So if you want, you can turn there, Nehemiah chapter 2, verses 1 through 4. In the month of Nisan, in the 20th year of King Artaxerxes, when wine was brought for him, I took the wine and took it to the king. I had not been sad in his presence before. So the king asked me, "Why does your face look so sad when you were not ill? This can be nothing but sadness of heart." I was very much afraid, but I said to the king, "May the king live forever. Why should my face not look sad when the city where my ancestors are buried lies in ruins and its gates have been destroyed by fire?" The king said to me, "What is it that you want?" And then we're just going to read part of verse 8, and that says, "And because the gracious hand of my God was on me, the king granted my requests." So the rest of the chapter then just goes on to talk about how the king supplied Nehemiah with everything he needed for his trip to Jerusalem. Nehemiah arrived in Jerusalem and he took a look around all the brokenness, viewed where the walls were all run down and broken and burned with fire. He rallied the people to help with the building project and was basically ridiculed and made to look stupid by the Jewish leaders that were in place over the area at the time. Okay, so here are a few thoughts that I have about all of this. First, back in the times of Nehemiah, the job of being a cupbearer was actually an extremely prestigious, highly trusted, very well paid position for someone to hold within the government. So Nehemiah would have been responsible for making sure that all of the food and drink that was served to the king, it was his job to make sure that it was safe and not compromised or poisoned or anything like that. And so the king would have had a very deep level of trust for him and would have confided in him in many instances. And so Nehemiah would have been one of the closest frontline assistants to the king. He was probably more like a bodyguard, really, and a trusted confidant. So Nehemiah, a Jew, really had a pretty cushy job within that foreign regime that presided over them at that time. So after Nehemiah heard about his beloved Jerusalem still being in ruins and the walls still being broken down, he took a few months to pray about what to do. And his heart was really, really hurting about all of this. And so he spent much of that time in prayer and really crying out to God about what to do. His heart ached to do something more than just pray. And so he made a decision to temporarily change careers. And he decided he was going to become a wall builder. And so Nehemiah he didn't go into wall building already knowing what to do. Okay, he didn't go to wall building school. He just stepped out and he took a chance. He'd never done anything like that before. Nobody taught him how to do what he was going to be doing. Also, this was a great cost to him. He risked his career and certainly risked his life. He was extremely scared. And guys, it was actually forbidden to be sad in the presence of the king back in those days. It was considered to be such an insult to the king that he would have you beheaded if you displayed anything but joy in his presence. But Nehemiah's heart was hurting because he was impacted by the brokenness and he couldn't hide it. So not only did he risk his life to even just tell the king, but he was actually in danger most of the time as he pushed through all of those unknowns just to obey the cry of his heart to rebuild the broken walls of Jerusalem. Plus, he was mocked and ridiculed, but none of that stuff stopped him. So, guys, we find ourselves right now in a very unique time in the history of the world. We're hearing news reports of all the devastation that this virus is producing, the deaths of many, many people worldwide, the devastation of families, businesses, of economies. Talk about broken walls. I can't even think of an area of society where this pandemic has not had an impact in some negative way. But, however, I have been seeing some wall builders emerging. I've been seeing some people around me rolling up their sleeves and getting to work in the rebuilding process. People who are showing up like Nehemiah because their heart is hurting over the broken walls that they see around them. And Betsy Steck is one of them. Betsy actually organized our neighborhood to give money toward getting restaurant gift cards for frontline health workers in our community. And then another neighbor organized us to write greeting cards to give to lonely seniors that were missing visitors in the nursing homes. So both Betsy and our other neighbor took what was hurting their hearts. They took what from the broken walls that they saw around them. They took things a step further than just praying. They actually took action. They showed up and they made a difference. And so if I can just stretch this example out just even a little bit more, nobody taught Betsy, nobody taught her how to rally our neighborhood to collect money and to bless the health workers. Nobody taught our other neighbor how to rally us to write out greeting cards for the elderly in the nursing homes. These were just plain old people who decided to show up and do something to help rebuild walls that they saw were broken. So right now, where are broken walls calling out to you for fixing? What is hurting your heart as you look around and observe what's going on in the world right now? Maybe the walls of your own family need repairing. Maybe your parents or grandparents need extra care. Your neighborhood, your grocery store workers, mail carrier, the businesses right in our own little town that are shutting down. Where do you see broken down walls? What is hurting your heart? Like Nehemiah, take it a step past praying, guys, and show up. So as we continue navigating through life in this new era, this new world, really, I want us to think about a couple of things. I want us to ask ourselves these three questions. So first, where do I see broken down walls around me right now? So where do I see broken walls? 2, what hurts my heart about what I am seeing as I observe the world around me? What is hurting my heart? And 3, what can I do besides pray to help rebuild those walls? So how can I show up and make a difference? So I just challenge you to really, really take some time to think about and pray about these questions, guys. And I really challenge you to step up. Praying is great. Praying is perfect. It's so needed. It's so necessary right now. But please, don't just stop at praying. Be a wall builder. Be a wall builder like Nehemiah. Be a wall builder, okay? Okay, so that's it for today. I hope that you will join us again tomorrow when we look at chapter 3 in the book of Nehemiah. I can't wait. See you then. Bye.